What's up, guys? We're back, and thanks for joining me today. My name is Michelle Wisher, and most of you guys probably know me as Belle from Belle's Rides. This is a little different. When I usually do unboxing, it's some motorcycle part or, RV part for my full-time RV rig. This time it's a little different. I'm super excited about this. Normally, I don't like doing box openings. I think they're kind of boring content, but sometimes you just have to because people ask you to do a review on motorcycle parts or whatever, and so you have to show how it arrived, right? Well, at least most people do anyway. I'm excited about this. This is really cool. It turned out way better than I was expecting. There's a little things to learn from this because this is a brand new project for me, brand new book, my very first novel. And, like my company logo should be down a little bit farther, more even with the barcode. It's freaking cool though. I feel like a real author. So anyway, thank you for joining me on this. It looks amazing. So the print company that I use Draft2Digital, and in the disclaimer note said that the print may not show up as well, or it just may be different than what you put online. So, but this is awesome. This is really cool. It's way better than I was expecting. I was really nervous because of reading the disclaimer, but this is cool. Okay, so I just noticed something. There's some changes that I'll make in the future, like my copyrights page is really small. So I'll just make that bigger. So it's a learning process. This is my first one. I love it. It's really cool. I do all of my own artwork. This was voted on by people who subscribe to me or follow me on Instagram, and this was the winner. That I do all of my own artwork. Coming up, this is the John Hunt series that I'm working on. It should be out May 2023. That's what I'm shooting for. That's what I have now. So I put a lot of pressure on myself. So because I got sidetracked. This is the folder that I'm using for writing my next novel of the ROXXY FOXX series. I don't normally would suggest writing multiple books at the same time, but the way my brain works, when it comes to me, I have to write it down instead of just, okay, I'll get to that in a little bit. When it comes, I write it. So this one happened to come to me in a dream. The whole storyline came to me, the plot, everything came to me in a dream, including the book cover. It's really cool. It's a totally different turn of the ROXXY FOXX series that I wasn't expecting to happen, but it's a very interesting dream. So I'm writing it down, baby. So it kind of sidetracked me on this, and I put myself in a little bit of a bind with my schedule. But okay, so I'm working on that one. I'm working on the John Hunt series, and I've done an outline on each one for 2 spin-off books. So a lot of stuff going on. So stick around.
Prologue. My name is Roxanne Fox, but I go by Roxy. I am 5 foot 8 inches with straight dark auburn, pain in my ass thick as horsehair hair down to my waist, and light green eyes of Irish descent. My granny and poppy raised me since I was 8 years old when my parents died in a car accident. I'm a retired U.S. Air Force captain, and I was assigned as a security forces sniper, which helped me land a job with Folsom State Prison. After sniper school, the Correctional Officer Academy was a cakewalk. Oh, shock, my specialty was, you guessed it, winner, winner, chicken dinner, a sniper. Most of the time I worked in the guard tower watching the CO6 whenever they were in the yard. Not to brag or anything, but I can shoot the ass off a gnat at 1,500 meters. And that is where my talents end. About a year ago, I was terminated for punching my superior officer. I'm usually a by-the-book kind of girl until I lose my Irish temper. The turd had it coming, and I don't feel bad about it in the least. It's not like I invited the skis to grab my ass. These days, I do PI work in my hometown of Sacramento, California. I've lived in Sacramento my whole life. Except when I was off saving the world with my highly trained, extremely unprofessional talents with the USAF. I now permanently live in Sacramento Midtown, better known as the Lavender District, nicknamed by the gay community who live in the area. Famous for its restaurants, breweries, and nightclubs. I inherited my Grandma Bessie's Victorian. Otherwise, I would never be able to afford to live in Midtown. Not without selling my cars and bikes. Some girls collect shoes. I collect cars, bikes, and maybe guns. While I was in the military, I always chose to live on base or I was on assignment, so I didn't have much in the way of financial obligations. What can I say? I collected a few cars and a couple of bikes, or 4. Luckily, there's a large carriage house at the back of Granny's house, accessible through the alley with 2 two-car, extra-deep garages and 2 extra-deep carport bays. Chapter 1. On days like this, I wonder how I got myself into this mess. I'm on day 3 of 4-day surveillance. I'm in a flat black town and country minivan. Usually, I wouldn't say I like minivans. My nickname for them is Moron Van. You can guess why. This particular minivan is pretty bitchin'. It's the perfect surveillance rig. After negotiating a sweet deal, I took it to my buddy's place and had all the windows completely blacked out. You can't even see shadows through the windows. Then I took a picture of the interior, looking from the front window to the back of the van. I transferred the image onto the material to make a partition, and it seems like the van is empty. Clever, right? I took the middle row seats out and installed a mini fridge and a porta-potty. It sucks to lose a mark because you had to pee in the middle of surveillance. Anyway, this is my 3rd day on surveillance for this crazy lady. She hired me to see if her geeky husband was cheating on her. What a snoozeville. He leaves for work precisely at 7 a.m. He goes to the dentist office located at Broadway and 15th Street. I watch for him to sneak away all day. At the end of each day, he leaves precisely at 5 o'clock and drives straight home, using the same route each day. Unless he's boinking the dental hygienist on the exam chair between the steady stream of appointments, he's not doing anything. He doesn't go anywhere other than straight to work and straight home. It's the most boring surveillance I've ever worked on. He must be a great dentist to have so many patients come to this crappy neighborhood to see him. I have all the hookers and Johns to watch to pass the time. John pulls up to the curb, the hooker jumps in, and they go around the corner. 5 minutes later, the hooker strolls back to the corner, popping a fresh piece of gum in her mouth. Yuck. Did I mention it was a crappy neighborhood? Day 4 was the same, except the temperature went up about 15 degrees. I was sweating more than a whore in church. At 5 o'clock, the dentist closed the shop and the dentist and the receptionist walked to their respective cars without saying a word. It's kind of weird. Not even a good night or have a nice weekend. The body language is not one of which they are having an affair, but more of a submissive nature. I could see why Mrs. Fruitbasket Dentist would be jealous. The receptionist is hot. She's skinny but has an excellent boob job. Her platinum hair cut in an A-line bob framing her flawless ivory face. Each day I saw the two of them leave simultaneously, but never together. Little Miss Platinum must have a closet full of sleeveless turtlenecks. All 4 days, 4 assorted colors. Who wears turtleneck sweaters, sleeveless or not, in the middle of summer? I followed the dentist at a comfortable distance and kept driving past the house. As he pulled into his driveway, I saw the garage door open. Tomorrow is Friday, and I will meet with Mrs. Cuckoo Dentist and give her the disturbing news. Her husband is the most boring man alive. He doesn't even stop to pop back a beer or two. I park my work van at a parking structure a few blocks from home. I don't want the spy rig associated with my house. The PI business comes with a lot of fruitcakes. I parked the spy rig in its usual assigned parking space and backed into one side of the parking space next to the concrete wall. I had the doors to the van locked while I was sitting there a moment longer to enjoy the air conditioner for a minute before walking a few blocks home in the scorching hot temperature. Suddenly, my spidey senses started creeping, and then it was a full-on 5 alarms yelling at me. I learned a long time ago to listen. It saved my ass and my team's ass on more than one occasion. I scooched in my seat just as a black SUV slowly rolled up. Lowering the backseat window, the passenger leveled a fully automatic weapon at me. Everything slowed down as he opened fire on me. I rolled between the seats and got to the back of the van, grabbing my Poppy's Desert Eagle 50 cal, which I kept in a holster I fastened to the back of the driver's seat. I popped the back hatch, using the van as a barrier, returning fire. In the distance, I can hear sirens. The cavalry is on the way. The black SUV hauled ass. I ran out from behind my van, putting 3 more rounds into the back of the SUV. I hit the driver in the back of the head. The SUV was still moving at a high rate of speed, careening into parked cars, finally coming to a stop on its side. The sirens were getting closer, and the guy from the back seat climbed out the side window, throwing a couple of rounds toward the approaching police cars as he ran away. I set my weapon on the ground, raised my hands, and waited for the police officers to clear the overturned SUV. Within a few minutes, the entire parking garage was swarming with police. I was promptly handcuffed and placed in the back seat of a patrol car.